The most laughable religious beliefs ever. Completely absurd. Religion has shaped civilizations, guided morals, and inspired countless works of art, philosophy, and even laws. But let's be honest, throughout history, humans have also believed in some completely absurd and laughable things. From gods that sneeze the universe into existence, to deities who demand bizarre rituals. Many of these ancient religious ideas sound more like comedy sketches than spiritual truths. In this video, we're diving into some of the most laughable, weird, and downright absurd religious beliefs that people once took seriously. And remember, what seems absurd today was once considered sacred truth. So let's get started. The flat earth on the back of a turtle. One of the oldest and most persistent religious images is the idea that the earth isn't a globe, it's flat. And not just flat, but resting on the back of a giant turtle, or sometimes an elephant, or even multiple elephants standing on yet another turtle. Cultures in Asia, India, and indigenous traditions spoke of the world turtle carrying the earth. At first glance, it's poetic, but imagine trying to explain gravity, seasons, or even space exploration with this model. It collapses instantly. The funniest part? Philosophers used to argue about what the turtle itself stood on. When pressed, some would reply, "It's turtles all the way down." Gods that eat their own children. Many mythologies include gods so dysfunctional they make the worst soap opera look tame. For example, in Greek mythology, Cronus, the Titan father of Zeus, was so paranoid about being overthrown by his children that he literally swallowed them whole. Imagine praying to a god who eats his own kids as a safety precaution. It sounds absurd, yet entire cultures revolved around these stories as explanations for life, power, and destiny. The sacred chicken oracle. In ancient Rome, generals often refused to go into battle until they consulted the sacred chickens. Priests would release hens, scatter grain, and then interpret the will of the gods based on how eagerly the chickens ate. If the chickens refused to eat, bad omen, cancel the war. This belief was so powerful that one Roman general, Claudius Pulcher, threw the chickens into the sea when they didn't eat, declaring, "If they won't eat, let them drink." He lost the battle. The heaven for cowards. The Norse were obsessed with Valhalla, the glorious hall where warriors who died bravely in battle would feast with Odin. But those who died of sickness, old age, or without glory, they were believed to go to hell, a dreary, joyless place. This created one of the strangest cultural beliefs. Dying in bed was considered shameful. Warriors literally sought death in battle, even pointless ones, because heaven was reserved for those who got hacked to pieces. Absurd? Yes, but also a powerful social control. The cosmic egg of creation. Many religions, from Hinduism to ancient China, taught that the universe began inside a giant egg. This cosmic egg supposedly cracked open, spilling light and darkness, gods and mortals, order and chaos. It's a charming metaphor, but it makes you wonder, did the egg have a yolk? Was it fried by the Big Bang? The imagery is laughable, though it reflects humanity's desperate attempt to understand the origins of everything. Talking animals as prophets. Religion is full of talking animals, but one of the funniest examples comes from the Hebrew Bible. In the book of Numbers, Balaam's donkey starts talking to him after an angel blocks their path. Imagine this scene in real life. Your donkey suddenly turns around and gives you a moral lecture. While religious followers see it as a miracle, most outsiders find it cartoonishly absurd. Cargo cults. Fast forward to the 20th century. On remote Pacific islands, isolated tribes encountered Western soldiers during World War II who brought food, medicine, and technology. After the war ended, the soldiers left. The tribes, believing the foreigners were gods, created religions called cargo cults, building fake airstrips, control towers, and even wooden radios to summon the planes back. It's one of the most laughable examples of how quickly religion can form around misunderstanding. The sun god's daily journey. Ancient Egyptians believed the sun god Ra sailed across the sky each day in his solar boat, only to descend into the underworld at night and battle serpents to rise again in the morning. This turns every sunrise into a divine wrestling match. Forget astronomy. The Egyptians thought daylight existed because their god won a fistfight with a snake every single night. The belief in sacred cows. In India, the cow has long been revered as sacred. While respect for animals is admirable, some religious laws forbade harming or even moving cows, leading to absurd situations where traffic, commerce, and survival itself bowed down to livestock. At times, starving people refused to slaughter cattle for food, even while famine raged around them. This shows how religious belief can elevate a symbol so high it overrides basic human survival instincts. Doomsday predictions that failed again and again. Throughout history, countless religious groups have declared the end of the world is coming. From medieval prophets to modern televangelists, people have sold everything, abandoned families, and even ended their lives believing doomsday was hours away. Of course, every single one of these predictions failed. The absurdity? Instead of learning the lesson, new prophets always rise and people still believe them. Why we laugh at belief. When we look back at these laughable beliefs, it's easy to mock the ancients for their naivete. But here's the shocking truth. Our modern world is no different. People today still cling to strange doctrines, conspiracy theories, and absurd rituals, convinced they are sacred truths. Maybe the real lesson isn't just to laugh at the past, but to ask ourselves, what absurdities do we believe right now that future generations will laugh at? One thing is clear. Religion has always been a mix of wisdom, fear, hope, and comedy gold.